much, Mark and Bridget. It is the Alberta Aviation Museum is our location on this Remembrance Day. There is a lot of great things to see at the Alberta Aviation Museum. None more magnificent and spectacular and original as this particular plane we're in right now, this great DC-3. I'm joined by a member of the X-Air Alliance, Hank Roth. And Hank, I guess this isn't your first time in one of these planes.
No.
No, that's for
Had
sure.
a few hours as a crewman on these.
Tell me exactly what we're in here. What is this creature?
It's the Dakota aircraft, C-47, and they were built in the 30s, and of course they served all during the war. They transported troops, equipment, supplies, casualties, and also they were used to tow gliders.
To tow gliders?
Oh, yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So this was a workhorse machine.
It was the workhorse of the Second World War.
Now, not only would it do all those things, but there was the jumpers left of this plane, too.
Many jumpers jumped out of this airplane.
In fact, this particular airplane we're in served in the Squadron 271 in just at the last year of the war.
That's what I'm given to understand.
And it looks pretty original, doesn't it?
Very much so.
It's the color, everything. I mean, this is an original piece of aviation history. This was a reliable plane?
Very reliable.
I guess it's sitting in here, and it flew here 2 weeks ago, so I guess it's in pretty good shape.
That's correct.
Now, and you say there was literally thousands of these planes serving during the war.
On the
Not
Allied,
just in the war, I guess.
No, in the Allied service between the United States and the Commonwealth, we had thousands of these.
And normally, how many, if it was just a regular crew, how many crew would be on this plane?
This depends what the missions were. You'd have the pilot, a co-pilot, crewman, a radio officer, and navigator.
Very good. Now, there are no defenses on this plane on the exterior. It was basically just you were on your own.
Pretty much so. It wasn't armed.
No, it wasn't armed, right. And all over this plane are cans of this stuff here. Now, what are we looking at here? Aerosol fluid 41. This is hydraulic fluid here. I guess there was a certain a number of different types of fluids needed to run this beast here.
Well, yes, you've got your engine oil and your hydraulic fluid.
I guess what always shocks me about the older planes is just the sheer amount of oil that was needed.
Well, especially if you ended up with a leak someplace.
I guess, eh? Now, this is propeller-driven plane here.
Yes, it is.
And how would you get it off the ground if you and I are sitting here and we're ready to go? What's the first procedure in this particular cockpit to get her going?
Well, they taxi you would line up on the runway, but I'm not a pilot myself.
No?
I'm just a mechanic.
You're just I guess you fix them, eh? Just the oiler? So I guess you've seen lots of those oil cans in your day.
Yes, I have.
Let's talk a little bit about the celebrations that are going to take place later today here. Maybe you can give me a rundown on what's going to happen and maybe when the people should sort of gather. I'll give you that, sure.
Okay, we're the X-Air Alliance that have this parade here annually, and they've asked me what it is. The X-Air Alliance was formed in 1987 in the Mayo, and the name of the society was called X-Air RCAF Alliance. Its purpose was to provide a catalyst for the gathering together of ex-RCAF members and spouses for social activities and the spirit of comradeship. Also to assist members less fortunate in ways other than by cash donations from general funds. And 3, to keep abreast of developments affecting superannuation benefits and information our members informing our members of changes that would affect their lives.
Very good. Now, you and members of the X-Air Alliance and a lot of other people are going to gather here later today for Remembrance Day. And what time should people get here?
Well, we expect a big crowd here, and I would say be here right shortly after 10.
Yeah.
You want to park in this parking lot out here and be seated no later than 10:30.
I guess you had a lot of, you've had family members serve in the war, and talk to me about the significance of Remembrance Day and the fact that it's still carrying on.
Well, I had no family members per se, but I have a lot of friends that served in the war. I, of course, was a young fella growing up in school when the war was on, but I remember a lot of the boys that went over and some didn't come back.
Right. And that's why this day is important. Hank, thanks very much. We encourage everyone to get here shortly after 10 for for the Remembrance Day services at the Alberta Aviation Museum. So back to you guys.
All right, Stephen, thank you very much. Good.
Good. I think there's a hatch on the top too, isn't it? So this is, sorry, Mark, Roy and I are just fooling around with this plane here.
If I may ask, Stephen, what does it smell like?
It has that smell. Roy, how would you describe the smell?
I don't know what it is, Steve.
Yeah.
It's a special
It's real.
smell.
I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, for sure. This plane actually served, so what do I do with this thing? Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Of course. No, we're all good. Isn't that amazing? Now this...
Private Ansel, jump!
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's what they did, Schultz. They slid down on the inside here,
Mm-hmm.
waited at the door, waited for the green light, and then
Yeah.
out. But this thing is the workhorse. This was the workhorse of the RCAF and American forces used it. And Roy, I don't know. This just got here 2 weeks ago. Flew here, of course, under its own power. This is the original green from the war.
Yes, that's right. And we're very lucky to have this in town.
Yeah, this is very cool. And we already talked a little bit with Hank in there. How are things going? Happy Remembrance Day, by the way.
Yes, a big Remembrance Day. Ceremonies are coming up for tomorrow.
Yeah, for today, in fact.
And today, yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Steve.
Now, let's talk a little bit. The last time we were together was, I think, last year on Remembrance Day.
That's right, exactly.
We were talking about the Victoria Cross Memorial we were looking to have in the Kingsway area. And how did it go? How's it going?
It's going fantastic. There's a lot of support now. People have heard about this. It's all catching fire. It's really very good.
For our viewers who maybe don't know anything about the war, other than they know that November 11th is Remembrance Day, you're supposed to wear a poppy, they maybe don't know anything about war history, but what was the Victoria Cross awarded for?
Valor, for highest bravery acts that soldiers and airmen or whoever else did in their soldiering jobs.
Yeah, right.
And they were decorated. They were recognized and decorated for such brave acts.
How many Canadians were on it?
94.
And out of that, how many Albertans?
13
Is that
Alberta recipients of the Victoria Cross.
Is that right? And I guess did it vary all battalions, all squadrons, all disciplines of the military?
All disciplines, that's right.
Including this squadron here, I think, right?
This aircraft was involved in the Arnhem drop. In one Canberra was doing operations in Arnhem. And this aircraft was with 271 Squadron, in which the only Victoria Cross was given out to Flight Lieutenant David Lord, flying in 27 Squadron as a flight lieutenant. He was shot down over Arnhem, resupplying the airborne. Mm-hmm. Now, this aircraft was with that squadron, so it makes it very special for us.
Indeed. I guess later today, there will be ceremonies surrounding Remembrance Day. What would you say to folks who are wondering if they should come out and check it all out if they've never seen it?
They should come out and celebrate our freedom. What these lads, because most of them were very young, 18, 19, 20, they fought hard for everything that we have right now. Mm-hmm. And to spend a couple of hours and give your piece to them would be just very, very good.
Absolutely. Roy, thanks a lot, bud. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. We're at the Alberta Aviation Museum preparing for a ceremony about to take place in about an hour and a half from now, 2 hours from now, celebrating Remembrance Day, Mark.
Thank you very much.